Hello, ladies and gents, it's Hagbard Celine here on another beautiful afternoon, and today we will be continuing with my promised Muslim Appreciation Month. I assure you, this will be painful, as we are now going to hear the real reason why Muslims don't eat pork. Not the scientific reasons, of course. He goes over some of those super important sciencey facts. But those aren't the real reasons. He gets into the important things, the deep issues. Sick alarm clock imagery, dude.
Why don't you eat pork?
Because you're delusional desert dwellers that stole everything, including your dietary restrictions from the Jews? Or no, too close to home? Alright.
Well, I don't eat pork because God tells me not to eat pork. That's the simple answer.
And ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, that is his answer. He's telling you not to look any further. Don't ask any more questions, don't go any deeper, just straight out don't do it because God told you not to do it. That's all that you should ever need. I don't understand the question beyond that.
Now, I know lots of Muslims, they like other types of answers.
By that other type, you mean bad type of Muslims, the ones that think.
Like, well, pork carries all of these diseases.
Luckily, other meats are completely disease-free.
And, for example, pork is more like human flesh than any other flesh.
Jeez, talk about some shit you want to tell someone if you want to ensure they never enjoy a BLT.
And, pork digests its food within 2 hours, right?
Utter fucking horseshit. That's right up there with the fact that some of you dummies think that pigs don't sweat and that means their toxins build up in their bodies. 'Cause, pigs don't have kidneys or anything.
And, okay, these may all be really sound reasons. But...
Yeah, exactly. Even you're bullshitting here. Listen to this.
But...
Even you sound like you're talking utter hornswoggle.
I always like to pose the hypothetical argument. Okay, if you are saying that's the reason you don't eat pork...
Well, then first and foremost, you're a bad Muslim because you're trying to use reason, when instead you should use the Quran and Allah, obviously.
If I can produce a pig, if I can get a pig, and I can breed this pig on a farm, and this farm has such conditions that we can prove, without reasonable doubt, that this pig contains no disease.
Jesus, wait, what? Look at this. Look. Even the guy doing the subtitles couldn't imagine typing out the words, a pig having no disease.
In fact, we implant in the pig nutrients and vitamins, and we can show that this particular product is really beneficial and healthy for you to eat.
Cut to imagery of liquor because, well, it's also haram.
Does it become halal for us? Does it become lawful? Yes or no? No. So what's the reason we don't eat pig? Because God tells us, don't eat pig.
See, there you go. Even if it doesn't make any sense, even if it's completely irrational, I'd say probably even if pig's the only food source available, don't eat pig.
I'm really sorry to explain it that way, and it's so simple. I remember saying this 20-something years ago in Oxford, and people were so disappointed.
I know, it's fucking ridiculous. Imagine people at Oxford wanting actual reasons to not do something instead of just an old book said don't do it.
It's like, can we have something else, please? And it's like, well...
It's like, well, just be happy with the old Jew text that we stole. What's the problem here?
But that's it, really. I'm sorry, but that's the bottom line.
I mean, it's like we stole some shit from these people, and now we condemn them until the end of history because we don't want to be found out for it. If we could just wipe them out... Wait, I'm sorry, this seems to have been a tangent.
Why is Abraham the example for that? Because I can guarantee you that whatever thing you can think of anything that you may find objectionable or whatever, how about killing your own son? How does that rate in your,
Yeah, you started this out real strong, but it seems like you've realized that saying Abraham was going to kill his own son maybe isn't a strong argument for following this religion. I'm just saying.
How about killing your own son? Where would you put that in your sort of scale of pretty horrific things to do?
I would put it pretty high, but hey, this is your desert religion, not mine, friend.
How high? But Abraham is told to kill his son. Now that's something that every Jew and every Christian and every Muslim accepts.
Yes, and they're all crazy. There are varying degrees of crazy, of course. However, they are all crazy.
And what does Abraham do? He goes ahead and he does it.
And you ridiculous nutballs look up to him. Imagine that.
Okay, God stops him at the last millisecond, but that's it. Judge that by any standard of morality that you can think of. Imagine that on the headline of whatever,
I have a feeling he wanted to say a specific publication and then lost spirit for fear of being charged with slander. However, I would like to point out that this is actually frightening. The idea that he can present this and be like, look how amoral this was. This was an awful thing to do, but we accept it. So how many other awful things do you accept, bud? I'm just wondering, how many other amoral, terrible things do you accept? I'm just curious. What exactly is your limitation? Killing your own son was acceptable, thus don't eat pork. That can't be the line.
Mad guy, listens to God telling him kill his own son. That's got to rate pretty high in the sort of crazy things to do. But that's what God tells Abraham to do.
I will never understand how one presents this like this and then still believes. You've already presented what actually happened. A crazy man in the desert almost killed his son because he was fucking hearing voices, and you guys follow him to this day. Congratulations.
And okay, there's no media there, it's in the middle of nowhere, but the point here is that if we go back to where I started and then we ask the question, well, okay, is there a God? And did God really talk to Abraham? Because if we can accept there's a God and we can accept that God really did tell Abraham to do that,
then the question is, why do I not accept that the lunatic in the asylum down the street has also been contacted by God? Or maybe is actually Napoleon? Who knows, right?
well, then it doesn't become that difficult to understand, God knows something about this boy that I don't know.
Yeah, obviously God knew that Abraham's son deserved to get stabbed with an old stone knife. I don't see why you guys are having a moral problem here. Jesus.
Maybe he's going to do this, or maybe he's going to do that, or maybe what's the consequence of not doing what God says? It could be huge.
Seriously, I've presented this in a somewhat humorous manner, but thinking this way is fucking terrifying. Thinking this way allows you to essentially do anything as long as you can find some sort of otherworldly fucking justification for it. It is disturbing. It is disturbing first that you believe it. It's even more disturbing that there are supposedly 1.6 billion people on this fucking planet that believe this garbage. This absolute nonsense, handed down by goat-herding, inbred retards in the desert. How much longer do we have to listen to these fuckers? And that's it for me, ladies and gents. It's become blatantly apparent to me that these people are clearly spreading the most perfect religion ever with great morals, considering they're willing to stand up and just defend the fact that a man attempted to kill his own son and was stopped only by an angel, and even admit that this is a non-moral act. He's still going to say, but God said do it, so let's do it. I'm sure this doesn't end poorly for anyone, does it? Thanks for being here, folks. Stay safe, good luck, and goodbye.